Hey everybody, welcome to the CharlieB Podcast. I'm your host, CharlieB. Do you ever feel like you have so much going on and you just need to breathe? Being a wife and mother can be so overwhelming, and sometimes you just need a minute. Take that minute with me, CharlieB. In this space, we'll talk about marriage, motherhood, and just being a woman. How do we manage to keep it together in the midst of everything that's going on? We're women, and that's just what we do. So listen, this is that pull up to the house and sit in your car for a minute moment. We all need those. You didn't have to, but I'm so glad you decided to spend that moment with me on the CharlieB Podcast. Let's jump right in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the CharlieB Podcast. My name is Charlene, better known as CharlieB, and I am so glad that you took out the time to join me. If this is your first time joining or tuning in, I want to say thank you so much, and I hope you are here to stay. I want to put the spotlight on our entrepreneurs, and I am in very good company tonight. I am so honored and privileged and just blessed to be at this beautiful establishment. I want to make sure I get it right. T.L. Hutton, Family and Friend Funeral Service. Tim and Dawn Hutton, say hello to the peoples.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I want to first start out by saying thank you so much for taking out the time in your super busy schedule to meet with me and to join me on my podcast. Y'all have no idea how excited I am. I'm going to jump right in because, listen, these folks are busy. So, my first question to you, Pastor Hutton, let's do this. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about you, and then I'll jump right into my questions.
All right. My name is Tim Hutton. I am co-owner with my wife of the T.L. Hutton Family and Friends Funeral Services, and also pastor of the Second Baptist Church of Mount Holly, New Jersey. And we are honored to have been asked to share today on this podcast with Charlene, and we're just so excited, and we're just here to assist and to help in any area that we can to help our families and our friends through a time of a desperate need in their lives.
Awesome.
So we just want to continue to minister in that way.
Beautiful, and you do it so well. Hello, beautiful.
Hello. My name is Dawn Hutton, and I am also the co-owner here at T.L. Hutton Family and Friends Funeral Home. I also work alongside my husband at the Second Baptist Church of Mount Holly, New Jersey. I am a mother, a sister, a friend, and all of the other things
all
about
that other
that.
Stuff, right?
Yes, all that good stuff. And I am also happy to be here and looking forward to everything that we are going to discuss on this evening.
Thank you. I believe that your job is one of the most important jobs on the planet because you all help people in their most vulnerable state. And you've been in our family for a very long time, How long have you been in business? Not for yourself, but how long have you been a funeral director?
Well, I've been a funeral director now for close to 20 years.
Wow.
I've been in the funeral business for 40 years.
Wow.
And so over the last 20 years, working as manager of the previous funeral home that I used to work for before starting our own,
all right.
Being now 6 years.
Wow.
That we have.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're in our 6th year now of our own business, and the Lord has just tremendously blessed us,
right.
In the business. Because we're here to serve.
That's right.
We're here to help, we're here to assist. And as you said, in such a vulnerable time in people's lives where they are taken advantage of.
Right.
And you know, and that's just one thing about this profession.
Right.
Some people are in it just to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are in it for that reason. We're not in it for that reason.
Right.
We care about people.
Yes, you do.
You know,
yes,
we
you do.
we love people.
Yes.
We're all about people, and so we just want to be there. I mean, every family that walks through our door, you know, we care for them, and we deal with several families at one time, and no family could ever say that we don't give them the attention that is needed
Right.
and during that time, because those, when we're sitting with them, they are the most important family to
That's
us
right.
at that time.
That's right.
You
I'm a
know,
witness to that.
And that's just how we are with people, and it's nothing that we've been trained to do. It's just something that's in us. It's just
a
who we
gift.
are.
You know, it is a gift. It takes a very special person to do what you do, and everybody can't do it. They just can't. I'm one of them. I can't do it. So it's just a blessing to have you in our community, in our lives, in our state, like in our county. Like, we are blessed to have the Hutton family in our lives, right? I want to know what made you want to start messing around with deaf folks, though. And I want to say, you know how when you meet a funeral director, sometimes you get scared and it's like spooky and it's weird and it's like, but you never get that with you, because some of them are just like, I don't know about that. What made you want to do that?
Well, I was like you are. I thought funeral directors and funeral homes and mortuaries and were spooky too.
Yeah.
And, it was something growing up I was always scared of. I would never, I would walk on the other side of the street passing a funeral home.
Yes, or a hearse, forget about it.
I thought funeral directors were just old spooky men,
Yes.
you know. And even when, you know, you used to come across one, you know, you never want to shake their hand.
No.
Didn't want to touch them. And I was that way.
Yes.
I was really that way.
Okay.
That's funny.
It just wasn't. It just wasn't until I really met a young man I was at the funeral home, and at that time I was, you know, working for Woody Funeral Home here in Burlington.
Right.
And I was just there talking with him, and he just asked me. He said, "If you ever want to come and work." And I was like, "What?
What?
Like, no, not me." You know. But me being who I am, I said, "Let me try it." You know.
Right.
And so I started just attending funerals, working as a funeral attendant. And then the more I was around it, now don't get me wrong, I was still. Don't leave me in this place by myself.
I know, that's right.
And so,
wow. Now I can't picture that
I was
at
like,
all.
And but the more I would, we would in the funeral most of the time, and then Mr. Woody would, you know, now have to go downstairs into the prep room and begin working on someone else. So I started hanging around, and I started, you know, watching and just, you know, and still wasn't too interested. I was just, you know, okay, I'm just hanging around.
Okay.
It really wasn't
That's
until
so interesting.
Okay, it wasn't really until I was at the funeral home with Mr. Woody and another young funeral director. I never saw a young funeral director.
Okay.
But it was a young funeral director that happened to come to the funeral home. And he was the same age as I was. And about that time, I was like 20.
Right.
You know, maybe.
Okay.
I was about 18, 19 years old. And he told me he was a funeral director. And I'm like, how are you a funeral director?
Right.
I'm like, funeral, and this is no lie. I said, funeral directors are only old men.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And so he says,
I'm
no.
loving
He
this.
says, I've always been interested. And then he said, so I went right from high school, right to, at that time, he said, to Mercer County College. And Mercer County College has a mortuary program.
Wow.
And he said, I went right there from high school, and it's a 3-year program. He said, so I went right there, and he said, you know, by 2021, he was a licensed funeral director. And so that's what got me interested and started in, you know, mortuary science. I said, okay, well, let me try this, you know.
Okay.
So contacted the school, got involved with the school, took some classes. And then, you know, I was still working at the time, you know, so I could take classes at different times. because I was still working a full-time job. I was working at the funeral home as well. I was working full-time for the New Jersey Turnpike Authority.
Oh, wow.
So I retired from New Jersey Turnpike Authority after 35 years. But I was working midnights. And I have worked midnights for my entire 35 years of my career on the Turnpike. So I could work the funeral home during the day.
Get
you know,
on out of here.
For 35 years, midnights.
The things you learn on a podcast. Yeah. I know everybody's like, what? They're going to be just like me, like, what? I didn't know.
And so we, I was working at the funeral home, but I was just, really filling in the gaps at the funeral home until, because I had gone to school, but I hadn't completed school.
Right.
Still working at the funeral home, still working service funerals, with Mr. Woody. But it got to the point then I said to myself, if I don't do this, meaning getting my license.
Right.
And one person I got to really applaud is Martha Gunning.
Okay.
Do you know Martha Gunning?
No.
Yeah. Martha Gunning, she came to me one day at a funeral and she said, you need to get your license.
Wow.
And she says, she was a counselor at the Mercer County. She said, I will set your schedule for you, but you need to get your license.
God sent.
And so I told Sister Gunning, I said, I'm going to do it. So I got with Dawn. I said, Dawn, I'm going to go back to school, finish my courses, and get my license. And so we made a deal, because I knew what it would take to go back to school, get my license, and still work.
Right.
Because I was still working midnights.
Goodness gracious.
We had a family. We have 8 children,
Wait, dear Lord. Okay, okay. I did not know y'all had 8 kids.
Yeah, we have 8 children.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 8 children. And so I said, okay. She said, all right, I'll take care of the house and you just go to school. And so we set a plan in motion. We do everything by setting a plan. God usually works through us by giving us a vision. And then we put a plan together and we work the vision.
Oh my gosh.
And it has worked in everything that we have done. And so we set the plan. I went back to school and I was able to go straight through school. And I told Dawn, I said, Dawn, I would sit at the dining room table. She would put the kids to bed and everything. Wouldn't let them bother me.
Oh, goodness.
And then I completed, the classes. And then graduation came. And I told her that when I walked across that stage, I wanted to be a funeral director. I just didn't want to be a graduate of mortuary science. I wanted to be a licensed funeral director. Right. Because there's so many people who finish mortuary school but never take the national boards or the state boards and get licensed. Right. And I said that wasn't going to be me.
I know that's right.
And so right after we ended classes were ended. It was like a week away before graduation. I took my national boards and my state boards, and I passed them both, And so when graduation came, I was able to walk across that stage, and out of my whole entire graduate class, there was only 2 of us that we were able to say we were licensed funeral directors when we walked across that stage.
That is so awesome.
And it's been an exciting road.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say I would not have been able to do it without Dawn.
Amen.
She has been my encouragement, the whole way. Her working with me to be able to go back and do it. And we never ever envisioned being where we are now.
Right.
And so I got licensed, and then of course Mr. Woody then turned really the whole operations over to me by making me manager at that time that I got licensed, and then I began to really revamp even everything there because things started going downhill there, and so I bought new life, new vision.
You could tell the difference
and so many people have told me that. And then, but after years of about between 10, 12 years of being managers there, Mr. Woody died, of course, everybody knew. And then things began to change with administration of the funeral home. So it was time. Right. I never thought I would have my own, but when I left Woody's, I was planning on maybe just becoming a state inspector for funeral homes and things like that. But it was...
Thank you, Jesus. Listen, Lord, we thank you for the vision. For your vision, not his, God. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And thank you for Miss Martha. We want to just say I'm thanking her for old Burlington County and the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was really when I left Woody's, a lot of people were still asking me. And I thank God for Parent Chief Funeral Home in Mount Holly. They were one of the first ones to say, listen, if you have any family, friends that you still want to do. She, Allison, Parent Chief, has said you can use our funeral home.
Nice.
And Paige as well. Paige Funeral Home here in Burlington.
Okay.
Brian Horn and
building
them,
relationships.
They opened up the door for us to come and if I wanted to still do work. Of course, the May Funeral Home, they called me.
Yes.
But what they wanted me to come work for them.
Right.
And May Funeral Home, they're our colleagues. I love them. I love them all. Miss May was calling me, but I knew that they carried a heavy load.
Yes.
And I didn't know if I wanted to be that busy.
Right.
So I told Miss May, I said, give me some time, but in the meantime, people were still calling me. And so I was using Parent Chief Funeral Home to help some of our family and friends. But then Dawn and my brother Mark, they were like, you need to start your own business.
Wow.
And I'm like, nah. I'm like, I don't know. They said, you need to start your own business. And then I went and I just happened to go to our state convention for funeral director state convention. And Mr. Dennison, the owner of Dennison Funeral Home, he's now since passed. But he came to me, he said, Tim, he says, I have the building in Burlington. He said that we never, ever hardly use.
Wow.
He says, why don't you, use my building, start your own funeral home in my building. So that's what we did. He opened the door for us. And so we were on Beverly Road.
Right.
There for 5 years. We were there. And thank God, and we knew we were growing too large for that building. But God, for some reason, when we look back at the numbers that we've done, we're like, how did we do it?
Awesome.
Only God.
How did we do it? But God brought us through,
Where did we seat everyone?
Yeah.
God did it.
We've already outgrown this building in some ways. And it's like, how... The math does not match.
Yeah.
It does not add up.
That's the truth.
But you gotta love how Pastor, that story is incredible. I'm so glad you shared it, and it's important for us to know your journey, because like I said, you both mean so much to us, and to know where you came from and where you are today, where the Lord has brought you both today. I want to ask you, Miss Dawn, how it's been. Like, you started out and you had the support. We just had, before I go there, I just did a series called Love is in the Air. And I sat with married couples and talked about the importance of being there for one another. I sat with like 6 different couples. My husband and I did a couple episodes too. But one of the husbands, on the last episode I had, the brothers, they jumped me at the end, but I made it through. Was saying how important it is to have the support of your wife. And without you being his support, we wouldn't have Tim Hutton. You know what I mean? The Tim Hutton that we have now. Sure. So I want to know what that felt like for you.
Let's see. This year will be 28 years for us.
Okay. Married?
Yes.
Goodness.
28 years for us married. Yes.
Nice.
So one thing that God has blessed us with in 28 years is unity, supporting one another, holding each other up.
I love it.
So it really was easy for me.
Right.
It was just an extension of what we've done for all the years that we have been married. I like Tim and yourself. I was not afraid. So when I met him, okay, we've known, being from Burlington and Mount Holly, we've known each other's family.
Right.
But when we formally met and started to date, I just wasn't afraid. I just thought, like, wow, this is interesting. So
you just jumped right into the funeral love.
Literally within a year of us being together and married, it was like, yeah, I'll be home after I embalm. My only request was like, okay, drop your clothes and take a shower.
Right.
You smell like chemicals. Drop your clothes, take a shower. You smell like chemicals. But other than that, I didn't have a problem with, funerals and dead people.
So did you know that you were going to be working as a funeral director as well?
No, I was a stay-at-home mom within a year of us being married.
Well, that was my dream job, but I didn't get it.
When we first got married, I worked in corrections. So within a year's time, I was a stay-at-home mom. So all of these years that he's working on the turnpike and working for Mr. Woody, I was a stay-at-home mom.
Wow.
So I never, ever saw this vision. This vision God gave to us. Right. It was not one that we dreamed.
Right.
That it was not one that we desired. It was not. My husband always said, "My time has passed because of my age. My time has."
Yeah, right.
My time has passed because of my age. Wow.
He don't see
Remember
my
you
face.
used to say that all the time?
Yeah,
I'm
I was
so glad.
My window is gone.
Because I didn't want to start a business at this age of my life. I thought in my late 30s, early 40s, because I knew what it took to actually start a business and run a business.
Right, and commit to it.
Right, exactly. And so I figured 30, 40s, fine. I never thought at, it's been 5 years now. I'm 60 now. So I never thought at 55 years old, I'll be starting a business. But when we started, the thing is, that's why we got our name Family and Friends, because I was only planning on doing Family and Friends.
That's it. Family and Friends.
So we thought.
We said maybe.
Is that really what you thought?
Yes,
we said maybe
yes, we
4
did.
or 5 cases a month. That's a maybe. That's not what we're desiring, but that is like the max that we'll take.
God was probably cracking up.
I said if we do 4 or 5 a month, I would be good because I was still working on turnpike at the time. I never imagined the business would grow as fast as it did. Our very first year was like mind blowing, to us. And our first year we did over what we call like 100 cases, which is unheard of for a new funeral home.
Wow.
And so that kind of like just blew us out of the water. And it just continued.
We're still surprised.
Yeah, it's still.
You want to know why? It's because you put your heart in it. Like you said, you're here for the people, not for the money. So when we have our heart in it and when we give, because you are givers, everything else will follow. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm not surprised at all.
Or when God says he'll open up the windows of heaven and
pour you out a blessing
and there's not
overflow. You just say press down, shaking together, running over.
We deal with this every day, and we're still in awe when we wake up.
I love it.
Yeah. And when we go to bed, we're like, what kind of day was that? Did we just do 2 funerals and then leave there, freshen up, and do a wedding? Like, what in the world?
What's the hardest part? Day. What's the hardest part?
It's hard to say what the hardest part is because, number one, we enjoy what we do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoy serving people. We enjoy just seeing the smile come on families' faces.
Right.
And then when the Lord blessed us to even build this establishment, God gave us the whole plan. He gave us the whole design. I drew out the design.
Write the vision.
Yeah.
Make it plain.
Yeah. And that's one thing I've always even taught my church. Even when we built our church,
yes,
God gave me the vision for the church, just how to building.
Right.
I took what I drew to the architects. They did all the technical.
Wow.
And I did the same thing with the funeral home. And then, so I designed it, according to how God wanted it. And then Dawn did all the decoration, all the colorings, the picking of the doors, floors, coloring. I mean, when you build a totally new building, it's like
yes,
the things you have to choose and pick.
Down to the doorknobs. Right?
Yes, down to the doorknobs.
Yeah.
So she did all the interior decoration of the building.
Beautiful.
But what was amazing about it is that when it was all completed, how the building just flows.
Came together.
Right.
And how people walk in the door and we hear it from every family that they don't even think they're in a funeral home.
That must have been the goal.
Actually, it was God. It must have been God's goal because we didn't look at it that way at first.
It doesn't smell like a funeral home. It doesn't seem like a funeral home.
When we moved from our old building to here, we bought the standard funeral lights that you see on side of the caskets.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to have my funeral lights in the chapel because that's what you usually see.
Right.
And so when we bought them over, we set them in our chapel. We looked at each other. We like, nope, we got to go.
It was not part of the vision.
It was not part of the vision.
Not part of the vision. Because you knew you were in a funeral home.
Yeah.
It was dark and gloomy and, but it still was love there.
Yeah.
Here, it's bright, it's joy, it's a whole different
Peace.
atmosphere.
And those are all the things
Peace
that I
is a good one.
When, I was trying to get these colors together, and I was like, Lord, this is not going to work. No, this is not going to work. This is too cheery. This is too happy. This looks like a Chuck E. Cheese, or this looks like a skating ring. It was like, no, people need to feel peace and tranquility when they walk in here.
Yeah.
But not sadness or not depression. They need to just feel the peace of God when they walk through the doors.
And you do. You really do. I never, you all did our mother, Audrey McCurry. And one of the hardest days of our lives became the easiest day when we saw her. And I was saying to my sisters, how are we smiling? Like, what's wrong with us? Have we lost our minds? But it was because of the presentation. It made it so much easier to see her. And it was almost, we knew that she was at peace, but then when you see the peace on her beautiful face, it's like, oh my gosh, that is a gift.
Yeah.
You have a gift from God. Like, He really poured it out on you.
Yeah, just like my wife just said, to God be the glory.
To God be the glory.
Because it's just who we are and what we do. Even, sitting with families, families always tell us all the time, y'all made this so easy.
You did. You do.
And I don't see personally why it is so complicated and why people have so much difficulties in making arrangements with other funeral homes.
Right.
And I do hear the stories and I'm like, why is it so difficult? But then I do realize that I do believe that God has given this, to us. Yep. And because of who we are and because it's just in us, because of who we are in Christ and Christ in us, that it just makes it simple for us.
I love it.
And I think one of our pride and joys is our kids area that we have in here. Because I don't think any funeral home
have you ever been to that has a children's area, a baby grand piano in the front, a fireplace, a little kitchenette. Like, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible.
The kids' room was birthed from a baby that, we had taken care of their family. He was 9 months old and he was a twin. And his 4-year-old and 5-year-old sister, the 5-year-old, she took the death so hard.
Goodness
gracious. I had never seen, as adults, we have felt pain and we have felt sorrow that it actually, you could feel the physical pain of it. Yeah. So it actually hurts your chest or your stomach. Right. But this little girl was screaming. It hurts. It hurts. Please take the pain away. It hurts. It hurts. And her mother, who was grieving herself, had to literally come out of her own grief because no one could calm her down.
Right.
Like everyone was trying because they knew mom was, upset and everything. And mom just said, no, just give me my baby. She had to come out of her own grief. And before they had come in that day, I think we went and got toys.
Yeah, we went and got toys for all the kids to distract them, and took them into the lounge area so it would distract them from the funeral.
But
goodness.
We could not have, nothing could have prepared us for the way this little girl was going to grieve. I mean, we just had toys because we're like, okay, they lost their little brother, it's going to be hard. But there is nothing in me that could have prepared me for the grief that this little 5-year-old girl was experiencing. But after she got it all out and her mom was able to console her, she went into the room that we had set up for her, and it was like all the pain was gone. It was just lifted. Wow. So that's how that room was birthed, the children's room.
Yeah, so when we built this, we just knew we were going to build an area for
my
kids.
Happy place for the kids.
For the kids to, play. And
y'all are incredible.
Even for teenagers to sit and play on their phones or whatever, we wanted to be able to have an area for them.
Everything. And it's just so wonderful. That was touching. I have a question for you. What do you do, or how do you think we can talk to families about being prepared? More importantly for me, as I put on my insurance hat, I don't sell insurance anymore, but I saw so many people that would call and say, my husband passed, or my son passed, and I would have to say, your policy lapsed, and they would have no life insurance. And so many times, and especially in our community, we have to go selling dinners because we weren't prepared for death. How does that affect you in your position when you know that person needs you, but they're not? The family, that person that passed wasn't prepared, whether it was an adult that passed and didn't have insurance, or their child passed and they didn't have insurance. How does that affect you all?
Well, it affects us in a way that you want to help them. You have to help them.
Right.
Number one, because we don't turn anybody away.
Wow. Okay.
So it affects us because we know we have to help this family in some way, some form, some fashion. The people in general not being prepared for death is an issue that we do have to deal with a lot. Insurance, especially for young people, it's the best time to get it.
Yep. While you're young and healthy.
I always tell people, young people, get insurance, have the withdrawal come right out of your account so you don't have to worry about paying it every month to where it will lapse because you didn't make payments. Right. So, because so many people, we get families that come in and they say, well, I think mom had it coming out of her account. And because mom, yes, you didn't know anything about her mom's insurance, but because she had it coming out of her account, now you have the ability to take care of her services. But we do run into it often where there is no insurance. And of course, there's several different options then that, families are given, and then some, people have to take, because of finances. But we do our best to try to work with every family the best that we can. Right. Because one thing that I think people don't understand sometimes is that though we were in the business, the funeral business or the funeral profession, that there are so many things that cost us.
Right. Yes.
And so
to run the business.
Yes, there's so and the things of the funeral profession are expensive.
I can only
for
imagine.
Us.
I can't imagine.
Even for us. So there are certain things that you only can purchase for your funeral home through funeral companies. And because they know that's the only place you can get them from, there's a high cost of that.
Okay.
So that's what makes a lot of times the rise of funeral costs for families, because of the cost that it costs the funeral home
right.
to be able to provide. So then it's coming up with innovative ideas and other things to be able to do to try to defer that cost. And so some of those things we've done to help defer the cost. I had one lady who asked me one time, she says, I'm about to write you a check. And this was some years ago when $10,000 for a funeral was, was a big funeral.
Right.
But of course, funeral costs have even, gone up since then. But this time she said, I'm about to write you a check for $10,000. She says, how do you handle a family that comes in here that don't have?
Right.
And I looked at her, I said, it's because of people like you who are able to write the $10,000 check.
Right.
I said, that helps me help somebody else.
Wow.
So that's why, we start off with saying, yes, we need the profit part to take care of all the expenses of the funeral home, but we don't focus on that. Right. We focus on each family and what that family needs at that time. And God does the rest. Amen. God does the rest.
And I'm not going to add to what he's saying, and this part might have to be erased out.
Probably not, because people need to know.
I'm going to be honest, though. And then there's a lot of families that have come in, and they'll say, well, I don't have any money at all. So once we work everything out with that family, then that same family is saying, oh, good, thank you. I'm so grateful that you've worked things out for me. But now I need 2 limousines. And I need an
Come
extra...
on, let's talk about it. We're not taking this out, sis. Because we need to know.
So that's the flip side that sometimes people don't understand. And I had to tell my family and my close friends that when you say Dawn and Tim will take care of you, you have to understand we will take care of those that are definitely needy.
Right.
But if you're not the needy and you just want us to take care of you just because of who we are,
right,
you have to understand that you're not asking us to give you a free funeral. You're asking us to pay for your funeral.
Wow.
Because there are so many expenses that we have to put out.
Right.
So, we do help those who
I know
really
my people.
in need.
We know our people.
And we pray, that God will give us wisdom. That
Right.
we are helping those that are in need. And that is our objective. That is our goal. But then when you have those who just...
So you have to scale those people back, right?
We have to use wisdom.
Right.
You definitely got to use wisdom.
You have to use wisdom.
Because there are funeral homes who won't accept you at all. Right. But we're determined, because we don't turn anybody away, we'll work it out.
Right.
We'll work it out somehow.
Wow.
But you do get those who they do take advantage of you, because or try. But thank the Lord that I think God keeps us covered.
Absolutely.
Because it does happen.
Right.
But God allows the part of it that people who are able to pay and people who are able to take care of their loved ones helps that area of of the people who do try to take advantage.
And that is
and
so
1%.
God
always
that
is the
1%.
Yeah.
It is just the 1% that we've experienced. It's maybe 2%.
So with that, what is the advice that you can give my audience tonight about being prepared? Because it's so critical, because, it's our community, right?
If you're not prepared, you're leaving your loved ones in a bad place. Instead of them being able to mourn you, and instead of them being able to say goodbye to you and have peace, you're giving the people who you love a lot of anguish and a lot of uncertainty on top of mourning you. Right. So even if we did small things, if you don't want to take out an insurance policy, because some of the insurance policies, and some of the insurance policies, to me, you may pay $30,000 and your policy is worth $10,000.
Right.
So, even if you don't want to take out some of the traditional insurance policies, which I do recommend, we have insurance on each other, put something aside every month. Write out your plans. Write out your order of service. Set the pictures aside that you would like to be on your program.
Okay, so you go on to the next part because that's down here. That's what I want the people to hear. Because we need to know. Y'all are entrepreneurs, but you have a business to run. You want to service everybody, but you still have a business to run. So hearing it from you, how we can help ourselves, like, oh my gosh, did mommy have a will? Oh my gosh, where's the picture that she wanted? Oh my gosh, what are we going to put on her? All these things that you shouldn't have to worry about when that person is gone if you had done it beforehand.
And you don't have to wait until someone is sick. That's another thing. We wait until the person is sick to try to say, well, Mom, what color would you like? Well, Mom,
right.
Where's your insurance policy? We don't have to wait until our loved ones are sick. Do it when you're well.
Right.
Do it when you're out,
Yep.
Having ice cream. Listen, let's go over these things and just prepare it. Put it in an envelope, zip it up, put it aside, let your family know where it's at, and that will take so much off of
Maybe
the
we should have some funeral dinners.
Yeah, and not only when they're sick, but you don't have to be old either.
That's right.
I think young people, young families, husband and wives. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about death, but they don't want to talk about dying. But it's the inevitable for all of us,
right?
And none of us know when it's going to happen. And we bury just as many young people as we do old people. And so even for young families, it's so important that young families take the advantage of getting insurance while they're young because it's less expensive.
Yep. Young and healthy.
But even as Dawn was saying, even those who don't want to go the insurance route, we offer pre-need where you can come into the funeral home and actually set up your service, and you can pay on it. And go
while you're alive.
Yeah, while you're alive, and it goes into what we call a trust account, which is governed by the state. We use what we call Choice Pre-Needs New Jersey Trust. So your money goes into an account as you put into it, and your money gains interest in that account, and you get a statement from them every year saying what your interest was, and it grows. And some people can prepare even that way and set up everything they want. And now, of course, those prices.
Oh my gosh, blow my mind! I had no idea.
Yeah. Now, of course, those prices aren't guaranteed,
right?
Because if a person makes a funeral arrangement today, but they died 10 years from now, of course, prices have changed. But
but
most
at least
people,
prepared.
Are prepared and kind of prepare for that as well. So we run into that every now and then, but we try not to. One thing I don't do, and other funeral directors would not agree with me here, but I have several people families who've done pre-needs, and if they had passed within a few years, and even though prices have gone up within those few years, I usually never go back to the family to say, oh, these are our prices now. This is the difference you have to pay.
And that's why you're blessed.
Yeah, we don't do that. What I will usually do is tell the family, well, just let me have the interest then that account has accrued to. And I won't charge you anything else. No out of pocket money you have to do. And most families, they're grateful for that.
So what you do is you set up it's kind of like setting up an account, and you pay into it like monthly or something like that.
You can pay into it monthly. There is no really limit. I think the trust account, they want you to start off with at least $500, but then you just send in as you want. And so people just pay into it. Some people pay it monthly. Some people will send it quarterly or whatever, or they'll call me and say, "How much is in my account?" Because their funeral might be, let's say, $13,000. They start off with $500, and then they build on it. Next thing they said, "Okay, I'm gonna put $1,000 on it." And
it's like a 401k for your funeral.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is wisdom.
So there's so many different ways if you do not want to take the traditional insurance route.
And one thing I do recommend too, and you're a former insurance agent, for young couples and taking out insurance, husbands and wives that have jobs or work for that work for companies that still offer like the insurance is always take riders out.
Yes.
You know, always take the riders out on your children.
Yep.
You know, that way, if anything happens to any of your children, which we never want anything to happen to our children, but it does happen.
It does.
You know,
it does.
That rider of your insurance policy will, you know, help take care of their funeral expenses because young people.
You said that the 9-month-old.
And keep
it happens.
in mind, families should read over their policies.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people run and get insurance when they know they're sick. And they die within 2 years. And it's a contestable time frame. And we get many families who come in and they're thinking, we have insurance, but it's within 2 years. And
you know how often I saw that someone's son, I believe it was the son or the daughter, committed suicide before the 2-year clause. Mm-hmm. And imagine that phone call. Yeah. So it's so many things that
sometimes they won't pay out for suicide. Yeah.
They do not. Well, not if there's a 2-year clause, especially.
But sometimes even after 2 years, there's certain things that insurance companies decide they don't want to pay out for.
What?
True
like
indeed. Maybe certain sickness if you've had the sickness. If you
I'm trying to think of what it's called. I can't think of what it's called. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to.
Pre-diagnosed.
Pre-existing.
If you had a pre-existing
condition,
condition,
don't know these things,
and you think you're going to get
know these things.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Yes.
I mean, we're telling people get insurance, but they think they have insurance, but then they really don't have insurance because they don't know about the pre-existing conditions or the 2-year contestable period or
all of that.
Yeah, you have to be, and I think a lot of it falls on a lot of the insurance companies or agents that sell insurance. They don't fully disclose to families because so many families we do come in with policies that are less than 2 years. And they'll tell me, well, they never told me it was contestable for 2 years. And so I think it's very important to anyone listening to this podcast that if you have an insurance policy less than 2 years and the agent didn't tell you, that policy is contestable.
Yep.
And most insurance companies will not pay out, the face amount. They'll only pay you back the premium and what you put into it.
I've seen it,
and we see it all the time.
Way too many times.
So it's so important to tell people that because
this is so good.
If they listen to the podcast and everybody run out and get insurance, but then if something happens within the 2-year period, they're feeling like I did everything that I was instructed to do, and how did I get here? I still don't have insurance.
So it's like you said, it's important to read it because every policy doesn't have that 2-year clause. Right. I always recommend whole life policies, especially for children. Mm-hmm. Whole life policies, they build cash value and the premium doesn't go up, but the older you are, the more expensive a whole life policy is going to be. Well, for me, if a child is 5 days old, get insurance because that's the soonest that you can get insurance policy on them, and then you don't have to worry about it. And when they come see you, which we all will one day, hopefully later than sooner, but who knows, we don't have to stress you out. Not that you're stressed, but we don't have to be having our hand out as favors or selling dinners because doing GoFundMe's. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to come against people that have to do that. What I'm saying is now's the time. Some people really don't have it. I don't work. My husband's out of work. My wife's out of work. I just don't have it. We had a policy, but it lapsed. We were doing our best. I lost my job. Things happen. Right? That's true. Life happens. But when somebody said, I don't have money to pay my life insurance policy, right? How much is your phone bill? How much is your cable bill? How much did you pay for those sneakers? And when you start breaking those things down, it's like, oh, maybe I did, but, right? So what's more important to you? The fact is, for our community, and it's unfortunate, and I can say it because I'm a black girl too, it's not as important as it needs to be.
And as we said before, and it's not discussed.
Right.
And the African American community at large, it's like we don't talk about this.
Right. You're right.
In our families, but it's something that should be talked about.
Absolutely.
It should be something like your family should know all your wishes. Like, you know, like Dawn knows everything I want. I know everything she wants. You know, our children know what we want and how things should be done. Those things should be discussed in families, regardless of how old or how young you are.
Right.
You know, and I think the younger the better. That you kind of, as Dawn was saying a little earlier, it should be part of your plan of what's going to take place, because we see a lot of chaos in families.
I can't imagine what y'all see.
At the time of death,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
What y'all see.
But it's so crazy though, since we've been here for a year, 6 years total, God has really shielded us from some of the things that we've heard, going on during this time.
Right.
He's really shielded us. So I'm grateful for that. We've had more, I would say 95% great experiences.
I love it.
If it can be great during that time.
It's called favor. It is.
But
because you make it that way, right? I think it's a wonderful thing. I was saying earlier that maybe have some funeral talk dinners. Like we're going to have a family dinner and we're going to talk about what your desire is. I tell my sisters, we come from a big family. I tell my husband what I want. He knows what I want. I know what he wants. So then I had to tell my sisters, this is what I told George that I want. So when he goes pulling the plug, don't get mad at him. I told him to do it. You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
Yeah.
So they won't be mad at him for making the decisions that I said that I wanted. Right? Amen. So my sister, for whatever reason, wants to be cremated. We can't get mad at her daughters for doing that because that's what she wanted. Right. So it's important, like you said, have the conversation. So when death happens, and it's sure to happen, it won't be havoc.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, so when my mom passed, it was a very hard time for us. But at the same time, it was easy because Mommy made it very clear what she wanted. Now, you could be mad at that if you want to. If you make it to glory, you could talk to her about it there. I don't think it's going to matter. This is what she wanted, right? So I think it's pretty awesome.
And I was honored to hear that she said, take me that Timmy Hutton.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I was honored to hear that she said that.
She did. Wouldn't have had it any other way.
That shows the old Burlington family when people call me Timmy.
Esther calls you Timmy.
Yeah.
She calls you, I don't know if she calls you Tim or Timmy. And I'm
she calls me Timmy.
Pastor Hutton, like, I can't call you Tim. Like, first of all, where's the handle on the name? Like, she's not grown, right? But, yeah, y'all are just, I'm so honored. You shared a wealth of information tonight, and things that we didn't know, and some things that we did know. But this is what my goal was, so you can educate the community. And I really think we need to maybe you'll have a barbecue outside and have people sign up for the what do you call it again? The when you can put money down on your funeral.
Pre-needs or
like, hey, we gonna have some pre-arrangements going on.
And that's part of our that's in our vision anyway.
I love
to do go to churches, do seminars on pre-needs, seminar on on death and everything. So it was our goal to even have seminars here and open to the community to come. And we give seminars sometimes in the evenings.
That would be so
but
awesome.
We've been so busy,
that
we haven't been able to put that in.
And doesn't that sound crazy? Like you saying, I haven't had a day off. That means somebody passed away. But the fact is, we all gonna leave.
Yeah.
And if we have to, why not put us in the hands of somebody wonderful like y'all, right?
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Thank y'all.
So I would like to also say that.
Sure, please.
I told you we were going on vacation in a couple of days, and we have both been just exhausted. I mean, just delirious. The kind of tired where you sit down at your desk and you're like, I think that I should be doing something, but I'm not even sure what day it is.
Yet you made time for me. Thank you.
But today, I was just so tired. And I said, God, I just need a scripture. I said, I just need a scripture. And I wasn't sure, I was just too tired to even think of which way to go. So I just went to my Safari and I just punched in a couple words. And the scripture that came up for us today is, let us not be weary in doing good. And I'm reading it because it's the NIV, not the King James that we usually quote. But let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9, that was the scripture that God had given me today, because we do get tired.
Right.
But he just tells us, don't be tired in doing good. Just don't get weary in doing good. Just continue to do what you're doing, and you will reap a harvest. And of course, we know that we reap a harvest just when we wake up every day. But just to know that God is like, I see what you're doing. I'm aware of what you're doing. Just continue to do what you're doing and don't get weary, because it's going to be okay.
But guess what? And I thank you for that, because you just spoke into me, because I have work to do. My dad told me years ago that I had the calling, and I wasn't sure what that meant or what my purpose was. But as you were speaking, I know you were talking about y'all, but the Lord had you speak to me, because sometimes I get tired, and I feel like, it's not, nobody wants to hear this. But as I'm listening to y'all's story, it's like encouraging me that I have to go on. I have to do the next one and the next one, because people need to know. And I can't get weary in well-doing.
Because you're doing good.
Oh my gosh.
And he will renew your strength.
Thank you. I needed that.
I
in this moment.
I mean, because we quote scriptures, because I'm a King James girl too.
Yeah.
We quote scriptures and we know them frontwards, backwards, and we can finish the preacher's, before he as soon as he says 2 words, we can finish it. But I was like, God, I just need something. And it was like the Holy Spirit was like, I'm going to give you something just in plain English.
Right.
Don't be weary in doing good.
Don't be weary. I love it.
Don't be weary in doing good.
Tim and Dawn Hutton, doesn't he? I thank you so much. I hope that you all have an amazing time away. I hope that nobody has to call you back for anything. Everything is going to work out just fine.
I receive it.
Everything is going to work out just fine. You're going to have an amazing time away, because you deserve it. You work hard, and we appreciate you. I want to say it for everybody listening. Thank you for everything that you do for everyone. We appreciate you. I'm not going to cry. But it's people like y'all that make the difference for us, and we appreciate you.
The Hutton
It
difference.
It cannot be easy.
And actually, like you just said, that has become one of our new slogans, the Hutton difference.
Wow.
It's on our website, the Hutton difference.
I love it.
We love people.
And it shows.
We love people.
So I want you to, we're going to close. I want you to tell us the name of your business again, where you're located, your website, all that information. This is your however long you take commercial. So go.
The TL Hutton Family and Friends Funeral Services, located at 1304B Route 130 North in Burlington Township. We are right next to Faith Deliverance Worship Center, which we thank God for them, because it was through them that we were able to purchase this property that was owned by them, that gave us the opportunity to open up and offer this facility that we have to our community. And we thank God for them and opening that door for us, and being able to give to our families, something better than what they've been used to or accustomed to. And so we're here to serve. Dawn and I, whatever needs you have, we're here just to serve. We thank God, for our community. We love our community.
Yes,
we're both Burlington people, Burlington families and surrounding communities. And so we just thank God that we're able to serve this community, that he planted us in this community
Right.
to serve not only as pastor and First Lady of Second Baptist Church in Mount Holly, but this profession.
Right.
We just thank God, for it.
And you can reach us at 609-239-4477. And you can also go on our website where you can find most of the information in reference to funerals or other ways of contacting us.
Okay.
Almost all the information is on the website.
And I know you're on Facebook. Are you on Instagram?
No, not on Instagram, not yet.
Facebook. Your Facebook page is TL Hutton Family Funeral.
Yes, something like that.
Something like that.
www.tlhuttonfuneralservices.com.
Love it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us tonight. Join me next time right here on the CharlieB Podcast. CharlieB out. That was so good. I don't have any editing to do. Y'all are naturals. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show. You can also like my page on Facebook at the CharlieB Podcast. Now, before you get out of the car and go to whatever is next, take a deep breath and remember, this is what you were created for. God gave you a different kind of strength, and whatever it is, you've got this. So again, thanks for tuning in. Really, you didn't have to, but I'm so glad that you did. Join me next time right here on the CharlieB Podcast.